Ray, and I'm very lucky because I grew up in a creative home. My mom, when I was age 2 to 4, she would sit down and do all sorts of arts with me. We would sing, we do a little bit of theater, and then I took tons of classes, so I was exposed to everything so early. And I had the chance to kind of figure out which arts fit me best. Dance became my voice because I was shy when I was younger and helped me really grow as a person that nothing else for me could really fill. Then I kind of moved into more of the visual arts, and that was kind of a different voice, but still had that calming sense. And at times I would say with dance and visual arts, you reach a state of enlightenment where you feel like you're your actualized self, like the highest level of thinking and living that you can be. I decided to go to school for psychology. There was a part of me that wanted to understand the way humans are and the way they think and make an impact on people. And I got to work with children and adults, and I found that if you're doing art, you're kind of naturally calmed, and they were able to work through some things that I don't know if they would have been able to otherwise, and they got to do it in a more effective, faster pace. So it's just another way to speak and be heard. So for me, it's beyond words and invaluable. Can I get a caramel macchiato with some pixie dust?
With some pixie dust?
Yes, please.
Hi, I'm Paul Catala, entertainment reporter with the Lakeland Ledger. Fits me perfectly as my background is as a pianist and musician, as well as a cartoonist. I've done editorial cartooning. So entertainment writer was kind of a no-brainer for me as far as putting my talents as an artist into play with my work as a writer. As a kid, from the time I was 8 to 19, I was a classically trained pianist and actually started college as a piano performance major. That didn't quite pan out, and so I said, what's the next best thing closest to art that isn't art? And so I became a journalist. And what I found to be the most helpful in my position today as an entertainment writer is the fact that I can relate to my subjects or my interviewees on an artistic level. I'm able to talk to them not as a naive journalist who's not really familiar with the ins and outs and the basics of music, for example, but I can talk to them as a peer about their love for music or the love for the arts. That being said, I also was in drama, applied drama as a kid from the time I was about maybe 6 to 9, and actually was in a few nationally syndicated commercials, so I have a little bit of drama background as well, which also helps. I think overall anybody in this profession would benefit from having the past or having the presence of artistic background. So yeah, for my profession and particularly for my position, I found that having the artistic background has helped me immensely. Not only in be able to relate to my subjects, but also in be able to write stories that show that I know what I'm talking about. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I also had a tuba scholarship at the Jacksonville University for 2 years. I played tuba for 3 years at high school in Tampa. And upon becoming a music business major at Jacksonville, I had to get into an ensemble, and there was nothing for piano at the time, so I said, well, let me try picking up the tuba again. I took one to a practice room, got my chops back in order again, played a semester with a symphonic band at Jacksonville, and next semester was offered a scholarship. So for the next 2 years, I also had a tuba scholarship.
I'm Brian Stevens. I work for Saddle Creek Transportation. I'm an operations manager in our brokerage division, so I manage a sales team as well as an operations team. I've had kind of a diverse career. I've been in retail, I've been in financial services for many years, and then recently started at Saddle Creek. I went to Harrison, sang at Harrison, so I had certainly a lot of time learning music and music theory and performing a lot, doing a lot of performances, including in musicals and live performances all over the place, and in competitions as well. So that was a lot of fun. And there I was exposed also, of course, to the visual arts and as well as dance and theater. So in college, I continued a little bit of that and took some music theory courses and some music performance courses while I studied business. I got my degree in business management. Being in the arts and especially in music, where we were trying to juggle a lot of things at once. I ran track and cross country, and I had the musicals I was preparing for and all of the other performances at Harrison. And the discipline that comes with that is pretty important. And I've kind of chosen demanding careers since then, and I feel that that's benefited me a lot to have had that discipline early on by having those extracurricular activities, and specifically in the arts where it's very demanding and you know you're going to be on stage, and it's very, very important to get it right the first time. So I think something that's benefited me to this day, certainly in sales, public speaking, in each of my various careers. I would also say the creativity side of things I think is really important in problem solving. We tend to think of problem solving as a very logistic and kind of economic thing. You know, how do you do something efficiently? How do you do it right? There's only one way to do something right, and there's a best way, a best practice, if you will. And I think that if you think more creatively about things, that you can find multiple ways, and you can have a better perspective on what others are trying to approach a problem with. And so it definitely creates an opportunity for people to come with different ideas and different angles and come up with multiple solutions to problems, and really find better ones that are not quite so narrow-minded.